supremacy, the real Jews black. Jesus Christ was a nigga. We scholars in the scriptures. Fuck your false doctrine. I'm a gangster, I can't go to church, they false prophets. I face the east and pray for the sun. Fuck your peace and I don't need your love. I'm gonna have slaves when the kingdom come. I see my adversaries teaming up, but they ain't ready for war. And if they is, we gon' bring it to them. Come through the pages, reading Obadiah. White man the devil, he for sure a liar. Can't trust the snake, Jesus called them vipers. How you love everybody, but we the ones dying. I'm bloodthirsty, pray my enemies. Don't do nothing, God save I just want slaughter and revenge.
No.
Sword in the crown and get my kids. Home of the truth. You ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. Home of the truth. You ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. And I can never be a Muslim cause they worship rocks. If you don't serve the Most High, then you cursed by God. Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh stop or I can die. Kwam Yashala, shoot a king, die would die. I got wisdom from the prophets, I ain't without. I'm in the belly of the beast trying to make it out. I know the truth, so I can't transgress the law. For a long time, was a rebel without a cause. I was called by the Lord. I feel like the poor man when a dog licked his swords. Came from my neighborhood, but I own all the stores. A church on every corner and my niggas still destroyed. We living in a town where the murder get recorded. Men of the Lord still prisoners of war. I got a Glock, but brotherhood the real weapon. You practice killing in my yacht, but it's still pagan. Home of the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. Home of the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child.
Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary.
We finna get started right now, man. Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of UPK. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yana. I'm not the Zav Officer of 500. You understand? Today is Tuesday Brotherhood class. So we're going to get into something involving brotherhood and how you can't have brotherhood without having the proper instructions. You understand? You can't have brotherhood without the proper guidance. You understand? And I'm going to bring out an article that the Navy, you know what I'm saying, that the United States Navy brought out about how important it is to have brotherhood. You understand? And how malignant it is not to have brotherhood, and how not having brotherhood and not having instructions can be the cause of your demise. So, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, first let me get my scriptures right quick. Let me pull a scripture for it right quick to show you how important it is. You understand? Because when you Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, you got to understand, first off, the Lord is a man of war. And you know that when you dealing with anything that has to do with war, you understand, you have to have you have to have structure, you have to have rank, you have to have rules, you have to have regulations, and so on and so forth. You understand, when the Lord delivered us from out of the land of Egypt, the Lord gave us he gave us strict instructions. What was some of those instructions? Some of those instructions were not to mix with other nations. You understand? Some of those instructions was not to take on the customs and the culture of another nation. You understand? Some of those instructions was not to be homosexuals, not to be whoremongers, not to be whores. Some of those instructions that he gave us was in the dietary laws of what to eat and what not to eat. The Lord gave us instructions. You understand? And I'm gonna get Proverbs chapter 8 verse 33. You understand me? Because having instruction is important, man. You understand? Every nation has instructions and has rules and regulations. You understand? Just like I bring all the time. When you drive a car, it comes with an owner's manual. You understand? And they tell you how to drive this car, what type of oil to put into it, what type of gas to put into it. You know what I'm saying? They give you strict instructions, because if you don't follow those instructions, something could potentially happen to this car. And resulting in you not being mobile and have to ask everybody for rides, and have to walk everywhere you want to go. You understand? If you don't follow those instructions. And in that owner's manual, it has laws on how to drive a car as well. You understand? Like, it tell you to stop at a stop sign. It tell you to when the light is red, you're supposed to stop. Let people on the crosswalk cross first. You understand? Use your blinkers. It tell you all these different things because it's for your safety. Because if you don't stop at a stop sign or stop at a crosswalk, you might hit somebody, end up in jail. You understand? So you have instructions for a reason. The Lord gave us instructions for a reason, man. You understand? And if you don't have any instructions, you live a lawless life. You live a lawless life. And then I'm going to get into how that can destroy you. So let's get Proverbs 8 and 33. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. And so you're supposed to hear the Lord's instructions. You understand? You're supposed to hear the Lord's instructions, and it's supposed to make you wise. And you're not supposed to refuse it. You're not supposed to refuse it, man. Just like if you have children and you tell them, "Hey, man, look at this is how you're supposed to conduct yourself when the police pull you over." You understand? Don't be combative with them. You understand? Don't be confrontational with them and be like, I didn't do nothing. You put your hands on the steering wheel, and you wait for them to tell you to give you their license and registration, or before they even walk up on a car, make sure you have your license and registration already on hand, and make sure you keep your hands on the steering wheel so this devil won't shoot you. You give your kids those type of instructions when they first become drivers, because 9 times out of 10 they will get profiled and pulled over by a racist cop. And if they don't follow those instructions and they be combative, and they think that they got a voice in the police violating their rights, that can be potentially end with them being dead on the scene, like we've seen so many times. You understand? So it's important for you to use wisdom, man, and engulf the instructions that the Lord gave you. I'm gonna read that again. Hear instructions. You understand? You're supposed to hear the instructions that the Lord gave us. You're supposed to hear these laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave us coming out of Egypt, the law of Moses. You understand? You're supposed to hear that, and it's supposed to be wisdom to you. It's supposed to be understanding to you. You understand? And be wise. Hear these instructions and be wise, man. You're supposed to hear that the Lord don't want you to be involved with interracial marriage, and that's supposed to make you wise. Like I said, Deuteronomy, I think it's 4 and 6 or 6 and 4. It said that when the Lord gave us these laws, other nations will look and see that we have these laws, and they will be like, you know what? This is a wise and understanding people. Who can be like them? You know what I'm saying? They will ask us like, damn, you have no homosexuals in your community? No, we have laws against that. You have no drug dealers in your community? No, we have laws against drug dealers. They will see that, and they will be like, you know what? This is a wise and understanding people. You understand? Because they don't have any laws against homosexuality. They don't have any laws against what you can and cannot eat. They wasn't given any instruction on who not to sleep with. They live an alternative lifestyle. They do whatever they want to do. Whereas you being Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, you can't do that. You can't be like these other nations and live a lawless life. You understand? So yeah, man, that was my first scripture. It said, "Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not." You're not supposed to refuse instruction. You understand? When you go get high, you refuse an instruction. When you step into that Christian church and listen to that hypocrite, that false prophet of a preacher, you understand? You refusing instruction. You understand? When you go down to put on your COVID-19 mask and you stand in that long line to vote for Joe Biden and Donald Trump, you refusing instruction if you Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. You understand? If you hate your brother and your sister, you refusing instruction. You understand? So we gonna get into it, man. So I'm gonna pull this this article I found earlier. So like I'm a little sick. Okay, the article say reference. It said what I said. We see like the article say, what is the importance of following instructions? So we about to see when you're a part of an army, you know what I'm saying? When you're a part of a rank system, you understand? When you're a part of what can I say? Yeah, when you're a part of the military, man, or any type of rank system, we're gonna see how important instruction is to them. You understand? Because as you know, the ISUBK, we the Lord's army. But give me extension cord. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, the ISUBK under Commander Junior Hunter, we are the Lord's army. You understand? That's exactly who we are. So we can get into how it's important to have instruction, man. Okay, say what is the importance of following instructions? Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. Following instructions is important to make tasks simpler, to ensure things are done effectively, to eliminate confusion, and to save time. You hear that? So like, yeah, let me plug this up right quick. Okay, so like, yeah, you understand? I'm gonna read that again. It says following instruction is important to make tasks simpler. You know, so when you follow instructions, man, you listen to the men above you, man, and you listen to that order that was given. Like I seen a brother in the headquarters post that I don't have an opinion. I just follow. I just take orders. I don't have an opinion. I just follow orders. And then when you become like that, and you have that type of spirit and that type of character, you understand? You complete tasks simpler. You know what I'm saying? And when somebody give you an order or a task, it becomes simple. It's not nothing that's hard or none of that. I'm gonna read it again. Following instruction is important to make tasks simpler. You understand? When you follow instruction, it make every order you get simple, man. You understand? Make every single order you get very, very simple. To ensure things are done effectively. It said to ensure things are done effectively. When you follow instruction, not only do it make your task simpler, but it ensure things are done effectively. You understand that, and that's so important when it comes to building the nation. That's so important when it comes to changing the stigma in the Black community. You understand? It's so important because Black people seem the news got so much propaganda about Black people. They make it seem like we can't be effective in the United States. They make it seem like we can't benefit nobody, not even ourselves, and it's our problem and it's our fault that we in the ghetto and that we destroyed the way we are. Meanwhile, they benefited from slavery for 400 years. You understand? So the whole point is, if you want to change that stigma, you have to have instructions, you have to have rules, you have to have regulations, you have to have guidance to be able to do that. All right. So I'm gonna keep reading. To ensure things are done effectively, to eliminate confusion, and to save time. A lot of people they waste time. They waste time because they don't know how to make sure things are done effectively because they don't know how to follow instructions. It all go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that plagues our nation. We don't know. We follow the wrong instruction. You understand? We follow the instructions of trying to be a rapper. We follow instructions of trying to be a whore. We follow the instructions of trying to wake up and smoke a blunt. Them the type of instructions and counsel that we follow. You understand? But you're supposed to follow righteous instruction. You understand? Because then you gonna save time and everything gonna be done effectively. You understand? So matter of fact, let me pull another scripture. Let me see. I'm gonna go to Psalms 32 and 8. You know what I'm saying? Well, we need to try to figure out what instruction is better for us because a lot of people give instructions. You understand? A lot of people give instructions. A lot of prosperity speakers give instructions, like a Christian pastor, the political leaders like Joe Biden, Donald Trump. You understand? Everybody, comedians, everybody give instructions. But is it the right instruction? Let's see what the Lord said. Let's go to Psalms 32, verse 8. Psalms chapter 32, verse 8. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. The Lord said he shall instruct thee and teach thee in the way thou shalt go. How will the Lord instruct and teach thee? You understand? What do he mean by that? He mean by he gave you these laws, statutes, and commandments, leaving out of Egypt. You understand? And if you follow and you teach your children, you understand, and you teach your nation how important it is to have laws, statutes, and commandments, then that's going to be effective. You understand? I'm going to read it again. This Psalms 32 and 8. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. The Lord instructed, he already taught us in the way we should go. He taught us to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Love your brother. You understand? Love your sister. Treat somebody how you want to be treated. If you got a problem with somebody, go to them and them alone. If they don't hear you, take it to counsel. You understand? That's how the Lord taught us. Them was the instructions that he gave Israel. You understand? And when you don't follow those instructions, a nation falls. You understand? But one person not following instructions, it can destroy a whole nation. And we see that other religions, not to say that being an Israelite is a religion, because it's our nationality. First and foremost, it's our culture. But when you see religions like Christianity and Islam, they don't have these type of instructions. You understand? They don't have this type of guidance, because guess what? Look at what happened with Malcolm X. He had an alt with Elijah Muhammad. You understand? Because he went, Malcolm X went to Mecca, and he been taught in America this whole time. He been a Muslim that, you know what I'm saying, black this and black that, black people this, black people that. And he went to Mecca, and he walked around that what is it called in Medina? He walked around the Kaaba. You know what I'm saying? Where they got that black stone that they worship, that they call Allah. He walked around that thing. He did his pilgrimage like every real Muslim allegedly supposed to do. And he seen that it was white Muslims there with blonde hair and blue eyes. So that changed everything that he thought that he knew. You understand? And he began to look at Elijah Muhammad and them as hypocrites, because you had white Muslims. And that's why we tell you all the time, there's no difference between being a Christian and a Muslim. Muslims are just saying Christians. That's it. Because guess what? A white man can be your brother in Christianity, and a white man can be your brother in Islam. There is no difference. But Malcolm X seen that, and he began to think that Elijah Muhammad and them was hypocrites. So guess what? They had an alt with each other. You understand? But they didn't go to each other and each other alone. You know what I'm saying? And in that result, Malcolm X ended up dying. I'm not saying that Elijah Muhammad, you understand, killed the man or anything had something to do with it. But I'm telling you how important it is to follow instruction, man. You understand? The Lord gave us strict instructions. You understand? He said the Lord said that if you got a problem with somebody, you pull them to the side and you tell them, man, look, man, I feel like you did me this way. You understand? And is that true? Did you really do me this way? I feel like you was talking mess about me. Or I feel like you was saying that to be slick or whatever the case may be. But you go to him and him alone. That's how you build brotherhood. And if he don't listen to you, then you take it to counsel and y'all take it to the men of the Lord. And then they decide who's right and who's wrong. So you won't lose your brother. So you won't have a problem with him and he end up dying or you end up dying like Malcolm X because he had a problem with his brother. And in the end result, he ended up dying. You understand? He had a problem with Elijah Muhammad. He had to stand at his window with an AK-47 peeking out the window. Not because the oppressor was coming after him, because he knew how powerful these Muslims was in his time and how violent they was and how much brotherhood they didn't have. You understand? And how they would be quick to put him to death if he spoke against Elijah Muhammad. You understand? And that's why the ISUPK is so different, because I don't have to worry about somebody in the school killing me. You understand? I don't have to worry about none of that. You know why? Because of this right here. I will instruct thee and teach thee in thy way which thou shalt go, and I will guide thee with mine eye. The Lord, he been teaching the ISUPK. He taught Commander General Yohana which way he should go. You understand? And Commander General Yohana taught everybody else that came after him, man. From the other generals to the captains to the officers. It's a domino effect. You understand? We follow the Lord in here, man. We obey. We royalty in the ISUPK. You know why? Because we obey instruction, man. We follow the King. We follow God. That's why. You understand? We're not like everybody else. The same problems that everybody else having eight organizations, we don't have those same problems in the ISUPK. You know why? Because we know how important and how pivotal brotherhood is. You understand? And how important it is to have instruction and obey instruction. You understand? So we gonna get more into it. I'm gonna read some more. Okay. It say people who follow instruction show that they are cooperative. People who follow instructions show that they are cooperative. You understand? People who obey these laws, statutes, and commandments and follow the instruction of Christ and follow the instructions of the Most High show that they are cooperative. You understand? You show that you are cooperative, man. I'm gonna keep reading. People who follow instructions show that they are cooperative, intelligent, dependable, while not. You understand? You see that it said people who follow instruction show that they are cooperative and intelligent and dependable. You can depend on somebody that follow instruction. Somebody that follow instruction, you understand, especially the righteous instructions. You know that they are intelligent, they are wise for doing that. You understand? When you tell a brother that, hey man, you shouldn't be a homosexual, and he listened to that instruction and he repent from that, guess what? He's intelligent, man. He's intelligent. And you can depend on him to tell other brothers the same thing. You understand? When you tell somebody that they can't smoke weed and it causes cancer, you understand? It makes you feminine. You understand? It dumbs you down. If they listen to that instruction that you give them, that you can consider that brother intelligent, man, because he listening to wise counsel. You understand? Whereas most people, they listen to retarded counsel. They listen to peer pressure. They listen to the counsel and instruction of people who peer pressure them to tell them, oh man, smoke this weed one time, man. You know what I'm saying? Like on Friday, man, you only get, you know what I'm saying, you Friday, you lost your job, you ain't got nothing to do. Man, hit this weed with me one time. You understand? A lot of people, most people, they listen to that instruction. You understand? They listen to those instructions. They listen to that counsel. But when you wise, you won't do that. You'll listen to righteous instruction. And in return, that makes you intelligent. That makes you dependable. You understand? People know that they can depend on you. You understand? That's why it's so important to do your 90 days in ISUPK. Because, you know what I'm saying, once you do your 90 days and you get that Hebrew name, you know what I'm saying, and brothers vouch for you, and They let the generals know that, man, look, this brother is an awesome brother. He hand out flyers, man. He come to camp. He check in on time. Brothers know that they can depend on you if they was to give you a task or give you an order. But if you late every time and you understand, or whatever the case may be, and you always got excuses, you're not very dependable. Brothers know that they can't really depend on you, so you gonna be the last one somebody think about. Okay, Salakia, right quick. Salakia, right quick. Salakia. You understand? People know that you're intelligent, you're dependable when you're able to follow instructions. They understand that you cooperative. You're not combative, man. You understand that? And that's the whole spirit of brotherhood. That's the whole spirit and the whole what is it called? Nucleus. What is it called? The whole, you understand, of brotherhood. Being cooperative, being intelligent, being dependable. You understand? I'm gonna keep reading. While not following instructions can lead to life and death situations that may end tragically. You understand? If you decide that you don't want to follow instructions, it can lead to life and death situations that may end tragically. You see that, right? Like when you decide that you don't want to treat a brother how you want to be treated, that can end tragically. You understand? Because it's gonna be a domino effect. So as soon as you feel like you don't want to treat a brother how you want to be treated, guess what? He gonna do the same thing to the next brother. And he gonna do the same thing to the next brother. It's a domino effect. So guess what? If you step on a brother's shoe at the club, he's gonna shoot you in your face. You understand? If a brother thinks that you looking at him wrong, he's gonna shoot you in your face, or you're gonna shoot him. You understand? And it's completely, it destroys our community, man. That's why instruction is so important, because instruction, it tells you how to treat your brother. Just like if you got kids, you tell your kids, hey man, don't do that to him. Treat her right. That's your sister, that's your brother. Y'all supposed to love each other. Don't do that. Do you want him to do that to you? And they say no. Do you want her to do that to you? And they say no. And they love each other. You know what I'm saying? You reproof them. You understand? And you give them that instruction of how they're supposed to conduct themselves and how they're supposed to carry themselves when interacting with each other. And that's how you build people, man. That's how you build a nation. But if you don't have any instructions to give somebody that's doing something wrong to one of their brothers and sisters, guess what? They gonna teach that to people that's watching them. And it's gonna be something that's plaguing our community. Where do you think black on black violence come from? You understand? We think black on black violence come from not having instructions. We don't understand that we don't have instructions on how to love each other outside of this Bible. You understand? We don't have instructions on what spirit we're supposed to have outside of this Bible. We don't have instructions on how we're supposed to carry ourselves outside of this Bible. So guess what? Everything plagues the black community because of that. That's why brotherhood is so important. That's why instructions are so important. It said, while not following instructions can lead to life and death situations that may end tragically. That's why it's so important for y'all to listen to the ISUPK of the Commander General Yohana. You understand? Of the Commander General Yohana, when you see us on them highways and them byways. Because guess what? We tell you all the time, hey man, if you a homosexual out here in Frisco and Oakland and you black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, stop. You understand? We give you those strict instructions because if you don't, What did the article say? While not following instructions can lead to life and death situations that may end tragically. If you don't listen to those instructions, you will catch AIDS. You understand? If you don't love your brother, the white man will infiltrate, your oppressor will infiltrate you and manipulate you to fit in his agenda. You understand? If you don't love your household and run your household in order, guess what? They gonna get you up out of there. They gonna bind you. Your oppressor gonna find some way to bind you and to spoil your house. That's why instruction is so important. You understand? I'm gonna keep reading because a lot of times we don't know how it is to follow instruction, and it ending tragically. So, as a matter of fact, let me get another instruction. Let me get another scripture. Let's go to Proverbs 19 and 20. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 20. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 20. Hear counsel and receive instruction. Like I was just bringing out, man. People listen to the counsel and the instruction of an ungodly person 24/7. You see the news do it through propaganda. You see social media. You understand? You see it on social media. You see it everywhere, man. You're supposed to listen to the instructions of a righteous man. You understand? Because if you don't listen to the instructions of a righteous man, it's going to end up like Friday. You understand? It's going to end up just like the movie Friday. He listened to Day. He listened to Smokey. Then some Smokey came to him was like, man, look, it's Friday. You got fired. You ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? You got fired on your day off. You ain't got nothing to do. Smoke this weed with me. You understand? He smoked that weed with him. Next thing you know, somebody pulled up that he was supposed to be selling the weed for and was like, nigga, if you don't have my money, I'm going to kill both of y'all. End up trying to kill him. At the end of the movie, he got to a fight, all because he didn't listen to the righteous counsel. He didn't listen to the righteous judgment. He didn't listen to righteous instructions. You understand? Don't be like that. Hear counsel and receive instruction. You're supposed to hear righteous counsel and receive righteous instruction. You understand? Instructions that tell you don't smoke weed. You understand? Don't hate your brother. Don't eat shrimp, crab, lobster, pork. Don't go to church. Don't celebrate Valentine's Day because it's coming up. That's righteous instruction, man. That's what the Lord mean when he say hear counsel and receive instruction. That's what he mean. That thou mayest be wise in thy later end. You're supposed to receive this instruction and this counsel so you can be wise in your later end. Because if you don't, you understand, your later end is not going to be so well. That's why they just said, what did they say at the end of this article? While not following instructions can lead to life and death situations that may end tragically. You understand? If you don't listen to the instructions of the Lord, it's going to end tragically. That's what the scripture is talking about. You understand? I'm going to read it again. It said that thou mayest be wise in thy later end. Follow these instructions so that you won't have to worry about something ending tragically in your later end. You understand? Follow these instructions that the Lord gave you. You understand? I'm going to read some more of the article. When people do not follow instructions properly, it can cause chaos and great frustration in any type of environment. I'm saying when people don't follow instructions properly, it can cause chaos and great frustration in any type of environment. It don't matter if you rich and you got money, man, and you think that you can avoid those problems. It even hit home there. You understand? It can cause chaos and frustration in any environment, whether you're rich or poor, low or rich. You know, whichever. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You can let slack it. Slack. Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna read that again though. Salakia. It said when people do not follow instruction properly, it can cause chaos and great frustration in any type of environment. You understand? It don't matter what environment that you in. If you in the suburbs or you in the ghettos, if you don't follow instructions properly, you understand, it can cause frustration and chaos, man. You know what I'm saying? What is chaos? Chaos means no order. It means it's gonna be a domino effect of no order. And you know the ISUBK, we all about order. Everything we do is about order. That's why we tell the men above us kind of kind, and we obey orders. Like the brother said on Facebook, we don't follow up. We don't have any opinions. You know what I'm saying? We follow orders, man. Because it's so important, is because we want to avoid chaos. Because you guess what? The Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian community, it's been in chaos since we've been here. The Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian community been in chaos for centuries. You understand? Being that we didn't have the proper instructions to follow. Being that we follow Christianity. Being that we followed Islam. Being that we follow Egyptology. You understand? Go, mama. Go. Being that we follow all these different things. So now that we got this proper instruction and we know that it's for us, you understand? We're going to follow it because we want to avoid chaos, man. We want to avoid any type of disorder. You understand? And we know how important it is because we see the effects of not having this instruction. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to keep reading. It say, in order to follow instructions, a person must listen well. In order to follow instructions, in order for you to listen to what the Most High say, in order for you to follow the instructions of the Most High and to do them, you must listen well. You understand? You must listen well. And that's why, matter of fact, I'm going to go to that scripture again, Salakia. I'm going to go to Psalms 32 and 8. I'm going to pull that scripture one more time. What's up, mama? Psalms 32 and 8. Looks like let's see. In fact, I think it's this one. Hold on. Psalm 19:20. Oh yeah, this is the same scripture I'm on. I'm tripping. You know, so this Proverbs 19:20. I'm gonna read it again. First let me read a little bit of the article. What it say? When a person does not follow it, let me see. In order to follow instructions, a person, baby, go to mama, go. It say, in order to follow instructions, a person must listen well. It's in order for you to follow the instructions of the Lord, you know what I'm saying, to be properly guided, you have to listen well. You understand? That's what the scripture, that's exactly what Proverbs 19 and 20 say. It say, hear counsel and receive instruction. You're supposed to hear the counsel of the Lord. You're supposed to receive the counsel of the Lord. You understand? But in order to do that, a person supposed to listen well, man. That's why the scriptures say, hear counsel, hear instruction, because you want you to listen. When you listen, guess what you're gonna do when you listen properly? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do it. That's why the scriptures say, what it say? Don't just be hearers of the word, but doers. You understand? But when you listen carefully, when you listen intuitively, you're gonna do what you listening to. You understand? It ain't gonna be just something that's going in one ear and out the other. You understand? It say, hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayst be wise in thy later end. If you listen to this counsel and this instruction that the Lord gave Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians in your later days, in your later times, when you need it, and when you wish you should have relied on it, it's gonna count. You understand? I'm gonna keep reading. When a person does not follow instructions, he finds that finishing task is much more difficult. Okay, when a person don't listen to orders, you understand, he don't obey orders, and want to do what he want to do and be combative and don't listen to instructions, don't follow instructions, he gonna see that every task that somebody give him, whether it's somebody at his slavery or somebody in ISUBK, it's gonna be more difficult for him. That's why it's difficult for brothers to come into the school when we give them that flyer. That's why it's difficult for them to actually call that number on the flyer, like we say. Yeah, so we tell brothers, hey man, call that number on the flyer, man. Check us out. We're gonna be out here every Saturday. It's difficult for them brothers to do that. You know why? Because they don't know how to follow instructions. You know why they don't know how to follow instructions? Because they live in a lawless life. They live in a life where you can do anything. They waking up smoking weed every day. You understand? They trying to figure out where their next dollar gonna come from. You know what I'm saying? They trying to figure out how they gonna pay this child support and still be able to look fly. You understand? They trying to figure out how they gonna deal with this wicked woman who hates them. You understand? Brothers deal with so much out here. But if you wise, you obey the counsel of the priests and prophets that you run into. You'll call that number on the flyer. You understand? You will do what's necessary. I'm gonna keep reading. In order to follow instructions, a person must listen well, read carefully, ask questions if necessary. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to read that flyer carefully, ask questions if you don't know. Damn, so I'm a Negro. That means I'm from the tribe of Judah. You know what I'm saying? So hold on, so God is black? Hold on. So we God shows the people. Ask questions, man, if necessary, if you don't know. That way you can get the proper instructions. You can get the proper, you understand? I'm going to keep reading. When a person does not follow instructions, he finds that finishing task is much more difficult. You get a task, you ain't going to be able to complete that task because it's going to be difficult for you. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. If a single person on a team does not adhere to instructions, then the entire team suffers on some level. So you see what I'm saying? That's why it's so important not to be caught up in and focus only on self-gain. You understand? It's important, Slakia. Be trying to call this conference right quick. Slakia. Yeah. Oh, well, I can't call the council yet. Phone tripping. You understand? But what did it say? If a single person on a team does not adhere to instructions, then the entire team suffers on some level. You see that? You can have a whole team, but if one person don't listen to the instructions and read from that playbook, you understand that the whole team gonna suffer on some level. That's just like the Super Bowl just passed, right? You understand the Super Bowl just passed. Tom Brady, a great quarterback. He a heathen though. He a good quarterback though. You understand? But if he don't follow the instructions that's off that playbook that everybody's instructed to go by, guess what? When the team get out there and they expected him to run an audible or a certain play, and he don't run that play because he don't know how to read instructions, guess what? The whole team gonna suffer because they might have a turnover. He might throw an interception. You understand? It might be the third down. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's going to suffer from him not being able to follow instructions. You see what I'm saying? It's just like if you know how to play music real good, but then somebody give you some music to read. You know what I'm saying? You know how you write music, like the notes and stuff. If you don't know how to read those notes, you know what I'm saying? It's time for y'all to perform. If you ain't playing your instrument because you don't know how to read those instructions, then you're gonna make everybody look bad. Everybody's gonna suffer. And that's how important it is for Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians to follow and keep instruction. You understand? Because look, everybody, for instance, we all came over here on slave ships, right? We all came over here on slave ships. You understand? 1619. They packed us on cargo slave ships. They brought us over here, stacked on them ships like sardines. But guess what? Everybody on them ships wasn't bad. Everybody on them ships didn't disobey God. But guess what? Some people did. So in return to that, we all had to suffer. Just like just saying right now, we all had to suffer because people didn't want to follow instructions. People didn't want to not sleep with heathens. People did not not want to give up pork. People do not want to give up worshiping another God. So in return, we all have to suffer as a people because there was some good people on there. There was some good people on the ships, but there also was some people that lived a lawless life. But in return, we all had to suffer just for them. You understand? And that's what this article is talking about. It said when a person does not follow instructions, he finds that finishing task is much more difficult. If a single person on a team does not adhere to instructions, then the entire team suffers on some level. You hear that? It said if a single person, so if one person, right? It said if a single person on a team does not adhere to instructions, then the entire team suffers on some level. That's what I'm talking about. Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, we suffer because we have some of us that's wicked, man. We have some of us that don't want to obey the Lord's instructions. You know what I'm saying? And from that, we all suffer from that. I'm going to keep reading. Tasks that are done properly the first time do not have to be redone. It said tasks that are done properly for the first time do not have to be redone. So I'm gonna keep reading. So one saves time and effort by following instructions each time a task is tackled. It said when somebody give you a task or somebody give you an order, I'm saying you're gonna tackle that order the first time. You're gonna tackle that task the first time. And you're gonna make sure it's done properly the first time. So you ain't gotta redo it. You understand? You're gonna make sure that you keep these laws and you never go back to smoking weed again. You're gonna make sure you keep these laws, you never go back to being a whore. That's how you make sure the whole team is good. You keep these instructions and you make sure that you never go back to being a homosexual. You keep these instructions, you make sure that you never go back to eating pork. You understand? You tackle it the first time. As soon as you find out that it's unlawful, man. As soon as you find out how important brotherhood is. Because like I just said, if one person doing bad, everybody on the team gonna suffer on some level. That's why you have to have brotherhood. That's why brotherhood is so important. You understand? Because if you don't have brotherhood and a brother do you wrong, instead of going to him and him alone, you gonna want to kill him. You understand? You gonna want to kill him. And it's gonna have a rippling effect in our community. We'll keep reading. All right. It said, following instructions can preserve one's health and well-being, and it is a necessary skill for a quality life. You understand? Following instructions can preserve one's health and well-being. When you follow instructions and you follow those dietary laws are set up to make sure that you are healthy. It's for your well-being. The Lord, you ain't missing out on nothing. The Lord ain't trying to let everybody else have fun and make you not have no fun. You understand? You ain't supposed to eat catfish because it's unlawful. You gonna eat catfish and you gonna catch diabetes, high blood pressure. You understand? You gonna eat some parasite that you can't get rid of. You gonna swallow some tapeworm eating that. You understand? It's for you. The Lord gave us these instructions on what to eat, what not to eat for your health. You understand? He told you not to eat pork because the Lord has brotherhood. You understand? He understands how nasty a pig is. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep reading. And it is a necessary skill for a quality life. Rules are necessary for every well-functioning society. You see that? Rules are necessary for every well-functioning society. Rules are necessary. When you have a society and you have a nation, rules are very necessary, especially if you have a well-functioning society. Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, we got a well-functioning society, man. But if you don't know that rules are necessary and instructions come with rules come with instructions, then we gonna fail, man. We not gonna be healthy. Our well-being is not gonna be safe. You understand? Our end is gonna end tragically. You understand? It says rules are necessary for every well-functioning society. Every society has rules. But guess what? Don't no society got more rules than Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. You understand? Because we serve a living God. You understand? These other nations, they don't have rules against homosexuality. But guess what? We do. These other nations don't have rules against smoking weed. But guess what? We do. These other nations don't have rules against eating shrimp, crab, lobster, and pork. But guess what? We do. You know why? Because we are from a well-functioning society. You understand? We from a well-functioning society that not only cares about the king's well-being and health, but cares about our whole nation's well-being. You understand? That's the ultimate brotherhood right there. I'm gonna keep reading. It said, professionals that do not matter of fact, let me get a scripture right quick. It said rules are necessary for every well-functioning society. Every society has rules, man. Every society. And Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, all rules are in this Bible. That's where our rules are. Our rules are keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Those are our rules and regulations, man. You see what I'm saying? So with that, I'm gonna get a Proverbs 12:1. Let me get Proverbs 12:1. Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproach is brutish. You understand? He that loveth instruction love knowledge. When you love instruction, you love knowledge, man. When you see the importance of and you see, matter of fact, when you see the effect that eating certain things has on our community, you become knowledgeable that. You understand that. You know what I'm saying? The doctors even tell you, hey man, if you eat this, it will give you high blood pressure. You need to lay off eating that right there. You know what I'm saying? You should more lean toward eat meat, like eat food that got animals that got scales, or animals like lamb. And you know what I'm saying? Even the doctors will tell you that. And when they do that, that gives you knowledge, man. But you shouldn't have to go to a doctor to get that knowledge. You should just listen and obey the instructions of the Most High. You understand? Let me see. Brute. What is a brute? My bad, Salaki. I want to look up this word brute. I don't know what it means. Okay, brute, a savagely violent person or animal. So let's read that again. This is Proverbs 12:1. Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge. You know what I'm saying? When you obey the instruction that's given to you, you love knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Well, you don't have to be that little kid that find out. You understand that your parents said don't stick that fork in that socket for a reason, because it's gonna shock you to death. You understand? You don't have to find out that. You don't have to bite. You don't have to eat from the fruit like Adam did and that Eve did to find out that that's the wrong choice. You understand? Because when you obey instruction, you love knowledge. You understand? When you obey instruction, you love knowledge. But, you know what I'm saying? But is a stipulation. You understand? It said, but he that hateth reproof is brutish. He that hateth reproof is brutish, man. What is brutish? A savagely violent person. You violent, or an animal. You understand? You an animal, man. You a violent person if you don't want to be, if you don't like reproof, if you don't like instruction. You a savage. You understand? You just like a heathen, man. Because guess what? They don't want reproof. Heathens want to do exactly what they want to do, and they don't care about God. Just look at your oppressor. You understand? He legalized homosexuality in America. He made smoking marijuana legal. You understand? He legalized so many things that God is against, and people wonder why this nation got to fall. You understand? But he is a savage. He is a violent person and an animal. That's who your oppressor is. You should not want to be like that. what I'm saying? You should not want to have the Lord against you, man. You understand? But that's what brute means. So I'm going to go back to this article. So, lock it. It said, following instructions can preserve one's health and well-being, and it is a necessary skill for a quality life. You see that? It said following instructions can preserve one's health and well-being. It is a necessary skill for quality life. Right? Rules are necessary for every well-functioning society. Every society has rules. Every society has stipulations that come with the rules. You can do this, you can't do that. You understand? Like let me see. Oh yeah. Professionals that do not follow instructions place themselves and other people at greater risk for injury and death. You see that? It said professionals that do not follow instructions place themselves and other people at a greater risk for injury or death. You see that? In ISUBK, we are the professionals. That's why when you at home and you watching our videos and it say for trained professionals only, or whatever it say, it say that because we are true professionals. And what it say about us? It say professionals that do not follow instructions place themselves and other people. So not just themselves. This is a team. This is a brotherhood. This is a sisterhood. So not just you yourself, but what other people at a greater risk for injury and death. So when you decide you being Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you want to smoke weed, you put everybody at risk. You put everybody at risk, man. You put all your people at risk. When you decide that you want to eat shrimp, crab, lobster, and pork because your Christian pastor told you that was okay, when you decide that you want to eat shrimp because your Christian pastor told you it was a white meat, you put other people at risk. What other people? Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. That's what you put at risk. You understand? And not only risk, you put them at the risk of injury and death by being lawless, by not following instructions. You understand? So this is why we have to understand how important it is, man. Because guess what? These other nations, these heathens, they know how important it is. You understand? They know how important it is to follow instructions and to take instructions. That's why the Arabs able to move from India, not the Arabs, but the East Indians, they able to move from India, come to America, get grants from America, open the Dunkin' Donuts, you understand? Open up all these donut places, you understand? Feed it in the Black community, feed it to the Black community, then take that same money and send their kids to college with it. And then you eat them Dunkin' Donuts for 10, 20 years. Next thing you know, you end up in the hospital. You understand? They come over here. They don't eat pork. You understand? None of those people eat pork. None of them. They don't eat pork at all. But they come to America, open up liquor stores, sell you pork. You understand? For 10, 20 years, you end up in the hospital. And that same money that they got from selling you and your community pork, they send their children to college with so they can be doctors. So that when you go into that hospital diagnosed with something like diabetes and high blood pressure, guess who's seeing you? That same man's son, that same East Indian, same Arab son that you was buying from, that you was buying pork and Dunkin' Donuts from. You understand? All that money you gave him, he sent this kid to college to be a doctor. And now his son is diagnosing you with a disease. That's how these heathens work, man. And that's why it's so important to follow instructions so you won't be caught up in that ploy. You won't be caught up in that trap. Because guess what? They kids know how to follow instructions. They know how to follow instructions. They know how to leave India. They kids know how to leave India once they get up to age, come to America, get grants from America, work a job 2 or 3 years, open up a business, buy a home, you know what I'm saying? And then while they doing all this, they know how to send money back to their family. You know what I'm saying? So they be able to survive in India and also be end up moving to America where it's the land and opportunity. You see what I'm saying? But black people don't know how to do that because we listen to comedians like Steve Harvey, we listen to pastors, we listen to unrighteous judgment. We basically listen to unrighteous instruction. We listen to unrighteous counsel. You understand? And in return, we get destroyed. You understand? I'm gonna read some more of this. It said, matter of fact, uh, I'm gonna go to Timothy 3:16. So we'll go to 2 Timothy 3:16. 2 Timothy 3:16. Okay, it's a 2 Timothy 3:16. All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, and for correction, for instruction in righteousness. You understand? It's for reproof, man, and for correction and for instruction in righteousness. It's just like if you got it, you in class, you know what I'm saying, and the teacher teaching and everybody clowning around and passing notes and making jokes. You know what I'm saying? The teacher is gonna reprove them. The teacher gonna reprove them. You understand? And it's the same thing with ICPK. And he's doing that because he wants you to follow his instructions. So when you grow up, you could be productive to society. You could be productive to your community. And that's what I just got through talking about. These other nations, they know how important it is to follow instruction. They know how important brotherhood is. You understand? To love the person that's giving you the instructions so you can flourish, that's giving you the right guidance. They know how important that is. But Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, we need to understand how important that is. Because if we don't, our later end is going to end tragically. You understand? Our later end is going to end tragically. You see? That a man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. They're saying that the man of God may be perfect, man. How do you be perfect? By following these laws, statutes, and commandments. You know, it's laws against hating your brother. They said the Lord gave us laws to love each other, man. To follow order. Because they tell you if you don't follow order, everything ends up being in chaos. Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, we live in chaos right now because we don't know how to follow order. We don't want to follow order because there's too many men that want to be Indians. You understand? Don't nobody want to throw away what they learned and relearn, especially when it comes to the Most High. Nobody want to do that. They want to keep what they know and try to mix it with the truth, and it's not gonna work. You got to throw away Christianity. You got to throw away Islam. You got to throw away Egyptology. You got to throw all these things away because it's going to destroy you. You understand? We keep reading Salakia. It say opportunities for advancement are limited and clashing with others become inevitable when a person does not care to heed instructions. It said clashing with others become inevitable when a person does not care to heed instruction. So when you don't want to listen to instruction, you understand, it's going to make you arguing with somebody and you fighting with somebody inevitable. Meaning that, nigga, it's going to happen. When you don't follow instruction, you fighting and being confrontational and arguing with people and brawling with people, it's going to become the norm to you because you don't know how to follow instruction. You understand? I'm going to read that again. It said, and clashing with others become inevitable when a person does not care to heed instruction. You supposed to heed instruction, man. Because if you don't heed instruction, you're going to clash with people. Whether you want to or not, it's going to happen one way or another. You understand? Whereas in ISBK, we don't clash with nobody. You understand? We don't clash with nobody because we know how to be in order. You understand? That's why when you see us at camp or whenever you see us in class in camp, We do everything. The Lord said, let everything be done in decency and in order. Everything we do is in order, man. We don't do nothing out of order because we know the importance of being in order. We know the importance of having that instruction and being given that instruction. You understand? We know the opportunity in that. You understand? I'm going to keep reading. It say, for advancement are limited, and clashes with others become inevitable when a person does not care to heed instruction. Right? When you don't heed into instruction, you're going to clash with other people. You understand? Because you're not heeding to the instructions when the Lord told us, when Christ told us, if you got an ought with a brother, you go to him and him alone. And if he don't hear you, then you take it to counsel. You understand? You didn't heed to those instructions. So guess what? You gonna run your mouth and you gonna argue with this brother, you gonna fight with this brother, and you gonna be like, man, what's up? Man, we can fight. You understand? You ain't gonna listen to the instructions that we got. You ain't gonna listen to the order that we got because you living in chaos, because you wasn't brought up in living in instructions. And that's why instructions is so important in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian community. You understand? Because you obviously can see that we don't live by instructions. Because like I said, you can go to the club, you step on a brother's shoe, man, him and his homies gonna jump you. You look at a brother wrong, you understand why he with his girl and he think that he being tested, he gonna shoot you. Like this is what our community has. This how low we become. You understand? This how low we become. It is disgusting, man. And you can't blame the rappers. You can't blame nobody. Who you supposed to blame is the Christian church, man. Because the Christian church has not given you the proper instructions. They haven't told you how to actually follow God. They haven't instructed you on how to properly love each other. You understand? And all that's important. But we haven't learned these things being in the Christian church. We haven't learned these things being governed by our oppressor. But let me tell you this, you will learn these things in the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana. Because this brothers back here that walked every life and then walked through every walk of life that you could imagine. And guess what? We all coexist with each other. You understand? Under one umbrella, one body, one spirit, one baptism. We all coexist with each other with no problem. You understand? Because we taught properly how to conduct ourselves. We taught how to heed to instructions properly. You understand? We taught how to we taught in ISUPK the community how to teach people how you want to be treated. You understand? We taught to love in deed and not just in word. These are things that we taught in here, man. But outside of here, and you don't have no refuge, you're not taught none of this, man. You're not taught none of this. Because your Christian pastor, he gonna tell you whatever you want to hear to get your money. He gonna tell you something that's two-edged. He gonna tell you something that's he gonna speak to you in a forked tongue. He's not gonna give you counsel. You understand? He's not gonna give you wise instruction if it don't benefit him. And you know who he learned that from? He learned that from his oppressor. He learned that from your oppressor. And that's why you got to understand your morality comes from obeying God, not man. Your morality comes from obeying God and obeying the men that the Lord set up. That's where your morality come in at. Because guess what? Your Christian pastor, he learned from our oppressor. And we know our oppressor don't have no morality. You know how I know? Because he'll put homosexual in office if it fit his agenda. You understand? He'll put a child molester in office if it fit his agenda. You know how I know? Look at Joe Biden. Look at Donald Trump. These are child molesters, man. And they're in office. But guess what? It fit their oppressor agenda, so they're going to stay in office. So we need to not look at the oppressor as somebody to benefit from, or to look at for knowledge, or to look at for instruction, but look for the Lord for instructions, man. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to keep reading. Matter of fact, I'm going to get Proverbs 4:13. We get Proverbs 4:13. Proverbs 4:13. Proverbs 4:13. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 13. Take fast hold of instructions. Let her not go. You know what I'm saying? It said, take hold fast. It's like it. I'm reading again. It said, take fast hold of instruction. You know what I'm saying? When you get these instructions, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to take hold of them fast. You understand? You're supposed to take hold of them. Like, oh man, that's something I was waiting on. You understand? It's just like when somebody pass you the ball. This is all revolved around being on a team. It's not nothing that's just you personally with you, because the Lord don't look at nobody individually. He look at everybody as a nation. You understand? So when you get when you get these instructions, you supposed to catch them. You understand? Like you gonna score with them. Like you gonna be the person that score with them. So keep reading. Take fast hold of instructions. Take fast hold of the instructions, man. Let her not go. When you get these instructions, don't let them go. You understand? When the Lord gave us these orders, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to be the person that don't let these orders go. Because guess what? Your Christian pastor, anybody in the black community with money, they let these orders go. You understand? You know why? Because when you live in a society, it's better for you to be like the white man than be a man of God. You understand? That's why I told you your morality comes from obeying these instructions. That's why I told you your oppressor, he don't have no morality. That's why they will put a homosexual in office. They will put a child molester in office if it fit their agenda. They don't care about it being right or wrong. They don't care about none of that. You understand? And that's why black people need to stop trying to, like what the scriptures say, don't envy don't envy your oppressor. I'm paraphrasing. Don't envy your oppressor because they don't have no morality. The instructions that they go off on is not, you know what I'm saying, is they going off a cheat code or something. You understand? They going off something different. So, whereas Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we got righteous instructions, man. We got instructions literally from God, and that's what make us royal. Because we follow God, nigga. We follow the King. You understand? We follow the King, and like if you might not understand what I'm saying because you don't understand old English, man. When you watch old movies like the Vikings and stuff like that, and you see how much pride they got when it comes to obeying the King and obeying instruction, then you'll know what we talking about in ISUBK. You know what I'm saying? Then you'll know why we follow Commander General Yohana. But until then, you won't know. You understand? Because you used to live in lawless, man. You understand? You used to not follow nobody's instructions at all, but your own. You used to follow your own counsel. And that's why the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian community destroyed right now. Because one person not following instructions can destroy a whole nation. You know how I know? Because we came to America on slave ships, man. In 1619, we came here on slave ships. You do understand that, right? But guess what? Everybody on those slave ships wasn't bad. You had good people on those slave ships that actually followed God. You had good people on those slave ships that actually listened to the instructions of the Most High. But guess what? They still had to suffer because it was people on there that didn't listen. It was people on that ship that worshiped other gods, that ate pork, that smoked drugs, and did everything that they wanted to do. That listened to their own counsel, listened to their own instruction. So guess what? Those good people that followed the Most High, they still had to suffer. You understand? And that's why they say no man is greater than his team. That's important. You understand? Because if you understand that, you understand brotherhood. You understand? You understand that if we supposed to be reading from this play, if we on the same team and we read from this playbook that give us instructions on what type of play to run, you know what I'm saying? How far I'm supposed to run up field before I turn around and catch the ball, or you know what I'm saying, what side of the court I'm supposed to stand on and wait for the ball to be thrown to me. If you don't know how to read those instructions, you understand your whole team is going to fail, or they're going to suffer somehow because one person don't know how to read instructions. One person know how to read from that playbook. And that's why order is so important. That's why the Lord said, you know what I'm saying, the head is God, Christ, the man, the woman, the children. That's important. You understand? That's important because we looking to win this. You understand? We looking to destroy our enemies, man. We're looking to win this game. He said, I'm going to keep reading, man. What was I just at? That was Proverbs 4:13. I'm going to read it again. Take fast hold of instructions. When you get instructions, take hold of them fast. Take hold of them fast. You understand? Because this is those instructions that you get is going to be your hack. You understand? That's going to be your knowledge and your wisdom right there when you get those instructions. Guess what? The Lord already gave it to us. He gave it to us, and it's comprised all in this book right here called the Bible. You understand? It's comprised all in this book right here. The Lord already gave it to us. But what we have to do now is take advantage of that and understand that and take heed to the instructions. That's it. You understand? So let me see. I'm going to keep reading this article. Well, that was the end of it. Yep, that was the end of it. All right. So let me see. Let me get some more scriptures. Let's go to Proverbs 8:32. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 32. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 32. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. And so the Lord said, hearken unto me, O children. And so the Lord calling us children, because you know what? Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian are children. Look how we think. You know, so look how we conduct ourselves. Look at the type of spirit that we have. You know, so look how we treat each other. We treat each other like children, man. It is disgusting. It said, now therefore hearken unto me, O children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. The Lord said, blessed are they that keep his ways. What are the Lord's ways? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Treating somebody how you want to be treated. If you got a problem with somebody, you go to them and them alone. You understand? That's how that's what it means by keeping his ways. Verse 33. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Hear the instructions of the Lord and refusing it not. You understand? The Lord didn't say, hear my instructions and refuse it because it's not good for you. He said, hear my instructions and refuse it not. And that's the same thing this article said. What did it say? I'm going to read the article. It said, opportunities for advancement are limited, and clashing with others become inevitable. Clashing with others become inevitable. What? When a person does not care to heed instructions. When a person don't care about instructions, you're going to clash with everybody. You understand? You're going to clash with your brothers and your sisters. A husband and wife, they're going to clash. You're going to be at work. You know what I'm saying? You're going to clash with your manager. You're going to clash with your boss, whatever the hell you call them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going to clash with each other. So like, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to read the scripture again. It said, hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. You know what I'm saying? But when you do not refuse instructions, you don't have to worry about clashing with people. You understand? You don't have to worry about your later end being death or something like that. You understand? You listen to righteous instructions. And that's so important to the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian community because we don't do that, man. You understand? And that's why this article is so important. I'm going to read the beginning of it again. He said, following instructions is important to make tasks simpler, to ensure things are done effectively, to eliminate confusion and save time. When instructions are properly followed, things work well. When you follow instructions, things work well for everybody. Not just for you, but when you follow instructions, it works well for everybody. Just like if somebody gave you instructions hey man, we finna get this building over here. Make sure you call and get the lights on. You understand? Because we need to do this in this building. We having a food drive, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? If we get to that building and those lights ain't on, everybody's gonna suffer from that. You understand? Because this is what we all need to be right now. For class, for the food drive, for do whatever we need to do. We all need to be here. But since these lights ain't on here and you didn't follow instructions to get the lights on, we all gonna suffer from that. We all gonna suffer from that. You understand? And that's why it's so important. That's why instructions and guidance is so important, because you can't point the finger at nobody but yourself if you don't follow instructions. You can't be like, oh man, he did it. You didn't follow instructions, man. We gave you an order. You understand? We instructed you to do this. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's so important. You can't point the finger at everybody else. Okay, so let's get some more. All right, let's get Proverbs 10 and 17. Let's say, but you're supposed to hearken into these instructions. Okay, Proverbs 10 and 17. You know, because when you hearken into these instructions, you live, man. So let's go to 10 and 17. He is in the way of life that keepeth instructions. The man that keep instructions, he is in the way of life. You know, what is life? Obeying the law, statutes, and commandments. That's how you ensure that you live, man. But he that refuseth reproof erreth. But he that refuses reproof erreth. But he that refuses to be reproved, he gonna err. You understand? He that refuses to obey instructions, he's gonna err in life. Everything's gonna be difficult, just like the scriptures say. What it say? When instructions are properly followed, things work well. People who follow instructions show that they are cooperative, intelligent, and dependable, while not following instructions can lead to life and death situations that may end tragically. People who don't follow instructions, it can lead to life and death situations that may end tragically, man. And I'm pretty sure people don't want that. It says, so let me see. I'm gonna go to Psalms 50 and 17. Okay, Psalms 50 and 17. Okay, let me see. Okay, Psalms chapter 50, verse 17. Sin thou hateth instruction, and matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 16. But unto the wicked God saith, what hast thou to declare my statutes, or thou should have taken my commandments in thy mouth? Verse 17. Seeing thou hateth instruction, and castest my words behind thee. You understand? You who don't listen to what the Most High say, you hate instructions, man. And you can't, if you hate instructions, and you like, look, this is the thing. If you don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, you hate instructions. You understand? And that's gonna cause you to cast his words behind you. Meaning what? Meaning that you're not gonna listen to what he say. You're not gonna obey the things that he told you to do. So guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna go out and you're gonna be a homosexual. You're gonna go out and smoke weed, smoke cigarettes. You ain't gonna listen to wise instructions. Even though on that cigarette box, it tell you will cause cancer or can cause cancer. Guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna buy a couple packs a week. Because you don't know how to follow instructions. You don't know how to follow righteous instructions, man. You follow your oppressor. You follow the white man who tell you that, hey man, you can do what you want to do. If you want to smoke, smoke. You want to smoke weed? Smoke. I made it legal. You understand? It's legal. Chicago, California, Arizona. If you want to smoke, do that. You understand? Instead of listening to righteous judgment, and righteous counsel and instruction that tell you that you should not defile your temple because your body is the temple of God. I'm paraphrasing. You should not do that. You understand? You should not murder that baby in your stomach, man, because that baby is alive. You should not do that. You understand? The Lord instructs you not to do that. Don't listen to your oppressor, because this how evil your oppressor is. Your oppressor go to Mars, find a drop of water, and say he found life. You understand? Your oppressor classified bacteria as a living organism. You understand? As life. But then he tell that black Hispanic and Native American Indian woman that her child is not alive in her stomach and that she can kill it. And she can abort that baby. You understand? That's why you shouldn't listen to their counsel and their instruction. You understand? That's why you shouldn't do that. Listen to this right here, man. This is what you listen to, man. If you want to thrive. If you ever wonder why the black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian community it is the way it is, because the Lord gave us instructions. You understand? In Deuteronomy, he gave us laws, statutes, and commandments, and he told us in Deuteronomy 28:15, keep these laws, statutes, and commandments of my instructions. And if you don't, he said, if you do, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be a great people. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody among you going to be poor or have diseases or any of these things. You understand? And then when you drop down, matter of fact, that's 28:1. And then when you drop to Deuteronomy 28:15 and tell you, but if you don't keep my law, statutes, and commandments and instructions, this is what's going to happen to you. You understand? And they give you a long list of everything that's going to happen to us. It's going to be black on black crime. You understand? The people that all these other nations that come to America, they like for instance, like the East Indian, they the biggest illegal immigrant. They're the biggest illegal immigrant, but guess what? You know what I'm saying? Trump ain't trying to build a wall for them. He's trying to build a wall for Hispanics. You know why? Because Hispanics are God's chosen people. You see what I'm saying? The Asians, they the second biggest illegal immigrant in America. In America. You understand? And guess what? It's a Chinatown, every major city. It's a nail salon, Chinese store, laundromat, all owned by the Chinese. The Chinese, the richest people in America. Nobody's saying nothing to them. But they want to murder Hispanics. They want to separate families at the border. You understand? That's what they want to do to us, man. You know why? Because we have not been taught to obey God's instructions. And he said it was going to happen, like I just said in Deuteronomy 28:15. He said, this is what's going to happen to you if you don't listen to me. That's why it's important to listen to me. You understand? It's just like if you have a son or you have children and you tell them that you need to be in the house before the street lights come on. If they don't listen, if you don't punish them, something bad is going to happen to them if they don't listen to your instructions. Something bad is going to happen to them in the middle of the night while they're outside when they know they're supposed to be home. He's going to be riding his bike and get hit with a car. He's going to be caught up in innocent bystander gets shot. Anything can happen when you don't obey instructions. And that's what happens to Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. For us not obeying instructions, we came to America as slaves. You understand? The Hispanics, Native American Indians was already here. But we all went into slavery together for being disobedient and not obeying God. You understand? And that's what a righteous father would do. Like I said, if you tell your kids that they need to be in the house before the street lights come on, and they don't come home, guess what? When they finally do come home, either you going to ground them or you going to whoop them behind because they disobeyed your order. It's the same thing with God, man. It's the same thing with God. You can't do what you want to do when you Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian because you are the children of Israel. You understand? The God separated you unto himself. Like I said, in Deuteronomy 7:6, he separated you from every other nation into himself, man. And he became your God. Like I said, Amos 3:1 or 1:3, he said, of all the families of the earth, you only have I known. The Lord don't know nobody else. He only know us. He said, so therefore he will punish us for our iniquities, man. He will punish us for not having brotherhood and not having sisterhood. He will punish us for hating each other. You understand? For abusing each other, taking advantage of each other, getting over on each other. He gonna punish us for that. Just like that's like how a father would do. A father that loves you would do that because we need that reproof. You understand? Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we need that reproof. You do understand that, right? I pray you understand. Okay. So let's go to this Proverbs 10. Hold on. This is Psalms 50 and 17. Let me read it. Psalms chapter 50 and 17. Okay, I already got that already. So let's go to Proverbs 5 and 5 and 12. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 12. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 12. And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof. I'm going to read that again. Salakia. And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof. Black, Hispanic, and Native American is we hate instruction, and our heart despise reproof. What do it mean, our heart? Your heart is right here. You understand? When they say your heart, it means your mind. That's why we say to this day, we say, I'll remember everything that you said by heart. Why do we say that? Because we talk about our mind as well. You got to understand, Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we wrote this Bible. We still speak the same way. You understand? We don't speak no difference. We'll read that again. And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despises reproof. It said, my heart despises reproof, not your heart. Your heart can't do nothing. Your heart just pump blood. What do it mean? Your heart means your mind. My mind despises reproof. Like Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, we don't want to be reproved. We don't want to be given instructions. You understand? We want to do what we want to do. And that's why we destroy. You understand? That's why we suffer the way that we suffer, man. Because we hate instruction. But if we can just come back to loving each other and not hating instruction, and we can come back to loving instruction and loving each other, you will see a change in our community, man. You will see a change in the way we treat each other. You will see a change in our spirit. You will see a change in the way we conduct ourselves. You will see a change in our behavior. You will see that. But as long as we continue to despise and hate instruction, we're going to continue to be destroyed, man. You understand? I'm going to keep reading. And have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. You understand? It said, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers. Who was the Lord's teachers? Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? King David, King Solomon, Elijah, Jeremiah, Moses. These are his teachers. You understand? These are his teachers. Who is the Lord's teachers today? So I, as she became the commander general, we the Lord's teachers, man. And what did it say? And have not obeyed the voice of my teachers. They had Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians. They're not obeying the voice of the ISUBK, of the commander general Yohana. But they need to, and they should. It is probably in their best interest that they do. But they don't. You know why? Because it's easy to be a coward. I tell you that all the time. It's easy to be weak. You understand? It's hard. You got to be courageous to live the type of lifestyle that we live. You got to be able to sacrifice everything to live the type of lifestyle that we live, man. You understand? You got to be able to teach classes, make yourself available, make yourself dependable. You understand? You got to be intuitive. You got to be able to listen. You got to be able to take orders. You understand? You got to be able to become selfless. You got to be able to have brotherhood. That's all I'm saying. And the only way you're going to learn that is in the ISUBK, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana. That's the only way you're going to be able to learn that. You understand? And have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. And so we need to incline our ear to who the Lord put above us and put over us, man. Because if we don't, we will continue to be destroyed. Okay? So Let me see. Let me get okay, I'm gonna get Proverbs 5:23. We're gonna jump down a little bit. Proverbs 5:23. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. You understand? Because when you don't have it, you gonna it's it's unfortunate that a lot of people die without instructions. You understand? Like, I know it's a lot of people that died looking to serve God, wanting to serve God, and they end up joining Christianity. They end up joining the fake Israelite group. They end up joining the Muslim mosque. You understand? And they end up dying in their folly. He shall die without instruction. You don't be the brother and sister that die without instruction, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord already gave us the instruction. So what he mean by you dying without instruction is that you refuse to listen. Don't refuse to listen to these wise words. You understand? Because guess what? We tried everything else. We tried everything else. Don't refuse these wise words, man. You see, I'm gonna keep reading. 23. And in the greatness of his folly, he shall go astray. And in the greatness of your stupidity and your folly, you gonna go astray. If when you don't listen to these instructions, guess what? You gonna listen to the instructions of a Christian pastor, and he's gonna molest you. You understand? He's gonna rob you from your money. You gonna you know what I'm saying? You gonna listen to everybody but men of the Lord, and in return, it's gonna destroy you, man. That's why it's so important to come back and not and let not instruction go. That's why I titled it "Let Not Instruction Go," because you can't let the instructions of the Lord go. Because if you do, it's gonna end in chaos. It's gonna end with you being destroyed, man. It's gonna end with you not being able to depend on nobody because you can't trust nobody. You understand? It's gonna end with you having the Lord as your enemy because you decided you want to live how you wanted to live. You want to do things that made you happy instead of making the Lord happy. How selfish can we be, man? You understand? All right, so let me get another scripture. Let's drop that. Let's go to Proverbs 8:10. Let's go to Proverbs 8:10. Okay. Let's go to Proverbs 8:10. Just a second, it's like here. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get Jeremiah 17-23. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 23. But they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their stiff neck that they might not hear nor receive instruction. You know, said we Black, Hispanic, Native Americans, we obeyed not. We didn't incline our ear to listen to and receive instruction from the Lord. You understand? And that's something that we need to do. And that's what's gonna help build our community. That's what's gonna help change the spirit that's over our community. You understand? You don't like drug dealers in your community. You don't like your daughters and your sisters being whores. You don't like your brothers going to jail, and your uncles and cousins and grandpas ending up in prison. This is what we have to do. We got to incline our ear to instruction, man, and stop from having a stiff neck. Because Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we a stiff neck people. We'd rather serve a false God than serve a living God. You understand? We'd rather listen to ill instruction than listen and receive righteous instruction. And that's why we have to come back to serving the Lord, man. Because what it say in Proverbs 12:1, whosoever loveth instruction loveth knowledge. When you love instruction, man, you love knowledge, man. When you quick to receive instruction and not let it go, you love knowledge. You love wisdom. You love the Most High. You understand? With that, man, I'm going to end the class. You know what I'm saying? Today was Tuesday Brotherhood class. You understand? About instruction. Tune in tomorrow. You understand? ISUBK Sacramento. Like I said, I'm not the Zab Officer 500. Today is Tuesday Brotherhood class. It's ISUBK and the Commander General Yohana. You know what I'm saying? We live about 3, 4, 5 times out the week. Tomorrow, okay, Monday is Monday history class. Tuesday, which is today, is Tuesday Brotherhood class. Wednesday is the law class. Thursday is scripture breakdown class. And Friday is Lashawan Kodash class. We teach you how to write, read in ancient Hebrew. You understand? So if you have any questions, make sure you go to ISUPK Sacramento, inbox me. You understand? Or go to whatever, you can go to whatever, type in ISUBK, whatever city you in, or any close city by you. You know, so you got any class questions or any the questions that need to be answered. You understand about anything? Just make sure you inbox us and get with us. You understand? With that being said, shalom.